What's happening, Lazy Bunch fans? Dan here, and I know it's been a very long time, but I'm happy to be back and happy to be back stronger than ever. There are so many new and exciting things going on in my life, going on in my wife's life, and Lazy Bunch. 2025 is gonna be a very interesting year for us. It's gonna be a year of change, a year of growth, but more importantly, it's gonna be a year of fulfilled promises. Because I can't tell you how many times that, yes, we're still working on machinimas and they will get done. Man, why do I sound like one of those gym bros? It's gonna happen, bruh. It's gonna get there. We're gonna get it done. Anyway, long story short, I'm done with the broken promises. 2025 is gonna be a great year for us, but really push Lazy Bunch to the next stratosphere of a place where there's a lot of content to watch, a lot of various things to enjoy, in a place that's like rooted in gaming. So that was a very long opening. Let's just dive right into this first question from Aquifer asking, where's Waldo? A couple videos back, I got myself this awesome Where's Waldo outfit from Target. And I love that outfit so much, I honestly do wear it out in public. But to answer your question of where is he? Your guess is as good as mine. Next, we got one from Santanea236. Out of every project you've created, which one would you say was the most difficult to make? Well, as of right now, Perfect Soldiers 3 has been a little bit complicated. I think we bit off more than we could chew. Like, we were really gun-ho about getting this thing started when we first started talking about it, and now we're like, oh, this is overwhelming. So yeah, Perfect Soldiers 3 has been a head scratcher, to say the least. Next, Tap08 says, a real one. I'm running into an issue where I need help writing my scripts, but I don't know where to go and how to work it. So I'm coming to you, Dan. So if you have questions about scripts, feel free to message me, DM me. Like, I'll be more than glad to help with scripts. Nate Spidey AT can tell you, oh my gosh, I don't need to do this, but sometimes when people send me scripts, they ask for, you know, some advice, what would you do? And I have a tendency to sometimes like overtake that script and like, what if we inserted these characters that did this cool thing that ultimately changes the course of the story later on this one part? And I get a little bit too involved, and I've tried to scale that back, and I have a problem. But I would say if you need help writing scripts, I'm not the best script writer in the world. My friend Javelin197, he's the one who's been helping with writing scripts for Reclaimer, Lone Wolf's Extraction, and now Perfect Soldiers 3. He's got a lot of great ways of telling the stories differently than the way I tell stories. Not only that, he's just a wizard with dialogue. Like, he's great at dialogue. So like, if you're able to just find someone who's good at proofreading and ultimately like really taking your script to the next level. Yeah, if there's anything specific about scripts, like if you're having trouble, you know, trying to find templates and you know how to write it and how much detail you should put in, things like that, I'm more than able to help out with all of that. But when it comes to story details, just be warned, I have sometimes overstepped my boundaries, and I don't mean to, but I have done that a couple times. Next from Aquifer, now that Rooster Teeth is going 6 feet under and selling off their IPs, what are your thoughts on everything to do with that or Rooster Teeth in general? Yeah, Rooster Teeth going 6 feet under was definitely a very, very sad thing for this community. For me as a high school kid, getting into Halo 2 and Halo 3 and seeing Red versus Blue at the same time, like that shaped who I am today. And ultimately, like just seeing them do what they do, and also with Smosh and some other YouTube channels, and just know that they won't be doing that anymore. It's a very sad thing. We could chalk that up into 2024 depression. Yay! Moonlight Ninja's here, ask his first question of the video. Does that mean we could upload the RVB videos now since the company that owns it doesn't exist anymore? I don't know if you can. I know their YouTube channel is still like active and there's still the content on there, but I would say if you want to re-upload RVB videos, I would say just maybe give it some time. If you probably wait till like the 1 year mark of them not posting content, YouTube might not. I don't know. I don't think you should, but I'm not saying you can't, because if there are some RVB videos that maybe are not on there anymore, then I would say go for it, because they can't stop you. Warner Brothers is still around. I don't know how that works corporate wise. If they technically own the rights to that stuff, I would just be careful. Next, Buck asks his first question of the video. Welcome, Buck. Does this mean I can own RVB? Absolutely, you cannot. No. Nate Spidey is asking his first question of the video. Welcome, Nate Spidey. Ever thought of doing something other than body acting, voice acting? Example, becoming an animator or a composer. I have thought about doing other things. I mean, I went to school for filmmaking, so like film and video and live action, stuff like that, documentaries, like that kind of stuff I love. So voice acting, I do love. I haven't really thought of being an animator or composer. Yeah, filmmaker is probably gonna be my answer. I've always wanted to tell stories and make movies, and my childhood dream was to make a big movie that was gonna have a red carpet premiere and bring my grandfather there, because he's the one who inspired me to become a filmmaker to begin with. Like, even if my local theater like put on Lone Wolves, had a red carpet little premiere or something, I don't know. Like that's the dream. That's what I've always wanted. But Filmmaking is something that I've always been interested in doing. Documentaries, music videos, the whole 9 yards. Anything with video, I've basically done. I wonder if I should cut that part out. No, I'm gonna leave that in there because I feel like some people might go into the comment section and take this into a weird place. KiernanHere asks his first question of the video. Welcome, Kiernan. You get to remove one character from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and replace them with another character from that franchise. Who are you swapping? Ooh, that's a good question. Can I say remove one of the Minecraft like Steve skins with like an actual, like, I know there's like the Enderman like skin for Steve, but like I would want an actual Enderman playable character. Can I say that? Alternatively, if you're looking for that, let's swap out King DDD with a Bandana D, you know, the guy with the little staff. Let's just replace him with that and I will be a happy camper. Related question, if you could add one fighter to Smash Ultimate from any franchise that already has a fighter, Mario, Pokemon, Kirby, Zelda, Metal Gear, etc., who would it be? Mine would be Gooey from Kirby, Skull Kid from Zelda, Eevee from Pokemon, or Twintily from ARMS. The thing is, like, I do play Super Smash Brothers, but like, I don't know all the fighters or the trophies and things like that. I don't really know all of them. I would love to have like a Tom Nook one where maybe he just like throws leaves at it. No. A Mabel or Sable or Table, but because it's like a hedgehog, like you turn into a ball and like roll it and its spikes would hit the opponent. I don't know. I think that would be cool as a fighter. I know it doesn't exist, but like, I think Animal Crossing, I think they should expand on that. I think more characters and fighters for that game would be worth it. Finally, your least favorite Kirby character. Mine is Pitch. They're just a bird. I hate Gordos because they're invincible. You can't kill them and they're always in the most inconvenient of places. But my least favorite Kirby character, and I loved this character when I was a kid, it's Knuckle Joe.
Leave it to me! Open jab! Smash punch! Resident break!
But he's just so obnoxious, and I don't know if Fight Kirby even really amounts to anything. I'm not a fan. Nate Spidey is asking another question. You think you can do a live Q&A in a Discord voice chat? Absolutely. I really should do that instead of doing these scheduled like 3 hour, like I'm recording this, it's gonna take an hour to record this and that's gonna take me like 2 to 3 hours to edit the thing. So I really should do like a voice chat instead of just like doing this video thing. I mean, yeah, I'm ranting now. I'm ranting. So move on to the next question. I definitely should do that though. Nitro's here asking his first question of the video. Question, Dan, good sir. What is one thing you love about the Machinima community and one thing you dislike? The thing about Machinima is that like, it's such a small community, like we all kind of came from the same place, if that makes sense. We could all relate to that. And I think that's really cool that we all kind of have the same like humble beginnings and we all kind of relate to that. While there are a lot of people who have very different takes on the way they direct or make stories and things like that, it's just fascinating how we all have so many interests that we share and things like that. So I think that's kind of cool. But what is one thing you dislike? Well, this is kind of, and it's not like meant to be this way, but it's not a very diverse community. This is about to get very deep for a second, but like there's not a whole lot of different ethnicities, races, genders that are really involved in the Halo Machinima community, unfortunately. Now, I know I just said a minute ago that I think it's cool that we all relate and everything like that, but the thing is, I also think there's something important to bring into someone with that might have a different culture. But I mean, as long as we are all trying to be more inclusive, I think more people will be brought into this community, or at least see that there is more to this community than just this. XtraNinja's here asking his first question of the video. If Transformers had a live adaptation without any humans or creatures involved, just Autobots versus Decepticons on Cybertron with only 1 hour length of time of just CGI, would you watch it? I mean, what is CGI? Like, Transformers 1 would you consider that all CGI? I don't know. But I think I know what kind of question to go with. You know, when you watch some of the action sequences, sometimes it does, at least the longer ones, sometimes you kind of lose like focus. But yeah, after an hour, like, I don't know, man, that's a lot. It's a lot to take in right there. NateSpidey18 asks, ever thought of making content with other fans or friends, like what I do on my channel, Sanson, etc.? I have thought about that. I mean, I do work very close with Megalodon 302. Funny enough, actually, I used to not only voice act, but I used to film, edit, and body act for the Mega Crew, some of the older episodes. I did all those. And then my brothers and I, we thought about making a channel together, and but this was before Greg became famous, so there was a lot going on, and a lot of it chalks up to we're all busy. So it's one of those things where, like, it's hard for me to maintain Lazy Punch as it is. If I were to maintain other channels, like, and I did try that for a little while. I tried with the 1 Minute Disney, I tried with the Brickster Dan. We aren't gonna be able to contribute as much, you know, as we do on our personal channels. So Aquifer asks a very important question. Listen, folks, the most important question of the night, is a hot dog a sandwich? And you know what? I say yes. Quick outfit change, had to separate this video because timing, but also I needed to show off this snazzy merch right here. That was probably the most cringe thing I've ever done. I'm so sorry. KiernanHere asks, other than Kirby or Zelda, which Nintendo franchise do you think has the best music? Nintendo overall just slaps in the music department. There are games that have like kind of mediocre-ish music, but none that are like just awful. I personally really love the Metroid Prime music, like just hearing that main theme for the first and second games, like, ugh. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the safe choice, like Mario Kart. I mean, Coconut Mall is a banger. Animal Crossing music, come on, come on. What advice would you give when it comes to a newcomer wanting to write stories for machinimas? Great question, my guy. So my advice for writing, machinima specifically, create a short series first. Just, it could be a comedy, it could be action, it could be drama. Write something that's gonna be like maybe 10 episodes, 5, even 4. Write something that's gonna be a nice, short, sweet series and get some practice on it. Because when you're writing machinima, there are a lot of extra things that come into play, like, for instance, locations, or what you can and can't do. Like, maybe you can't actually do the camera angle that you envision when you're writing this scene. You can't be at that specific location doing the things that you wanted to do because you can't change the environment, and so on and so forth. Machinima, it's a great way to tell stories, but there are a lot of drawbacks to using machinima. So that is my advice. Write a short story, write something simple, write something that is gonna be a quick throwaway thing, because there's gonna be a point when you're writing this awesome story, there's gonna be this awesome battle scene, maybe an emotional character moment right there, and then you realize I can't have the characters go where I want them to go. Aquifer asks, I know you hate Halo 5, but I think it'd be cool to see a vid of you trying it out. I haven't touched Halo 5, probably in like 4 years. And even when I last used it, it was literally for like one forge scene. I actually felt accomplished because I'm like, wow, this is a really cool map. Halo 5 forges something. Maybe I can utilize this for things in the future. I go to film my scene. The theater clips, all of them, not just one, like 5 separate clips, all of them for that scene. The files just become corrupted. It literally comes up with a message saying, cannot open video. So I did what any camera crew director would do. I went through the whole scene again, and then guess what happened? Midway through filming, one of my characters had a weird glitch. The whole session timed out, something happened, and I had to basically restart for a 3rd time. And the worst part is it didn't even save that clip because the whole game, I guess that game got corrupted, so it didn't save the theater clip. So when I do it a 3rd time, everything's running smoothly, everything's fine. Okay, I finished the thing, I filmed it all. I went through this process 3 times. I maybe came up with some new shots and trashed some other ones because I wanted to get through this quickly. Finally load the video, finally load it. The 2-minute mark, exactly at 2 minutes, it just stops playing. And I did everything possible to fix it. Uninstalled, reinstalled the game, signed out, signed back in. I did everything possible in the book, but for whatever reason, every time I replayed that video clip, it stopped at 2 minutes. And it said like 24 minutes and 33 frames or seconds. Like, it gave me a time code, but it stopped at the 2-minute mark every time. No matter what angle I was at, it stopped at 2 minutes. And at that point, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I did this 3 times, struggled with Forge, then finally felt accomplished with Forge, but spent like 3 hours on the dang thing, only for every possible method for it to not ever be captured. It doesn't exist anymore. So like, that was the last time I used Halo 5. And the time before that was when the game first came out. I played the campaign and I thought, this is bad. Those are my only 2 real instances with Halo 5. I still, for whatever reason, own the game. So yeah, that's my opinion of Halo 5 and I'm sticking with it. So thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk and I'll see y'all next time. XtraNinja asks, favorite Minecraft mob? Why do I feel like I got this question before? I don't know why, but I think I said creeper last time. I think I'm gonna stick with that again. But yeah, I think creepers and skeletons with swords. I like those guys. But yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I wonder what's yours. Tap08 comes in asking his first question of the video, favorite enemy in the Halo series. I love Grunts. Grunts are the best. I mean, but Grunts are just hilarious. They make it fun, they make it great, and you really can't hate them. You can't. Oh, and then a follow-up question, favorite Grunt variant. I was not prepared for this question. Gotta pull up Wikipedia right here, because it's been a while since I've looked up Grunts. Okay, looking at Grunts here, let's see. I mean, I think they all vary in dialogue anyway. But like, it's hard to say which one has more dialogue over another one, because that's the main reason why I like Grunts. I like the things they say. I guess the Grunt Miners are, oh God, I can't say this. See, I can't say Grunt Miners are my favorite because that will be taken out of context, obviously, because this is YouTube and YouTube poop happens all the time. How do I word this right? I'm just gonna say Grunt Majors. The Majors are hilarious. I love fighting those guys and hearing what they say. Just imagine me saying this with the word minor instead of major, and then you realize why I had to change my answer. Grunts are hilarious, guys, aren't they? Tap08 is back. Who's your favorite villain in cinema? Meaning character or even actor? So my favorite character villain, and I know this is a very safe choice, is Darth Vader. I think Darth Vader is the coolest character ever written. When you really think about Darth Vader, he's iconic not just for who he is, but there's no character so iconic that has a recognizable voice, a recognizable sound, an iconic name. Like, he's just amazing in every right. And then the favorite villain actor, you all waited for this. And I'm gonna give 0 context. It's Chris Pine. Claiming Jaguar is back with another question. Out of all the Halo machinimas you've watched, which ones would you consider to be the most underrated machinimas that deserve more attention? I want to start out by saying that machinimas in general deserve more attention. There's a lot of work and effort that's put into machinimas, so in general, a lot of them are underrated. One in particular is called Dead Silent. It is a GTA 5 machinima, a 4-hour-long machinima that one of my friends made. It was a very, very well written, very well acted, very well put together machinima. Again, it is very long. There's 4 parts, but it is very good. There's a lot of other machinimas, and I feel bad because like a lot of machinima directors, like I want to mention their names. Like obviously I'm gonna mention Lost Hobo Films, you know, Recruits. It is underrated in its own way, trust me. Chronicle 177 has a lot of great machinimas, included Odd Man Out, and I think, what was that last one? Hyborian. So there's a lot that he's done, but yeah, there is a lot of machinimas out there that are truly underrated. Just go ahead and start looking around. You're gonna find dozens, if not hundreds of machinimas that have only a couple hundred views. So machinima in general truly deserves more attention. Next question is from KiernanHere asking, what are your top 5 video game adaptations? You may include Kirby Right Back At Ya. Mine is probably Pokemon Origins, The Last of Us, Fallout, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Ace Attorney. So that's a pretty good list, and honestly, looking at my list, mine's pretty pathetic. But then again, there's also a lot of shows and things that I haven't watched. I still want to watch the Fallout show. I haven't gotten to it yet, or just haven't had the time. So this is my list. It's pretty basic. So right off the bat, we know I love Kirby Right Back At Ya. It is an anime from the early 2000s. It's not really good, always a fun time for me, so I'm just not gonna include this in this list because it was hard for me to place it at a certain spot because I probably would put it at 1. Number 5 is Halo Legends. I know there are some segments in that are worse than others. I literally thought it was the best thing in the world when it came out. So I am, you know, not putting this at number 1, obviously, but like I'm playing that into a factor as well. I remember really liking it and being obsessed with it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but I like it. So Next is Sonic the Hedgehog series. I love this movie series. They're all fun, they're all popcorn movies, and knows that. It knows it's not supposed to be this overly deep plot. Next is a weird one because it was hard for me to put a Nintendo property over another one, so I just put 3 Nintendo things on number 3. Detective Pikachu, the Super Mario Bros. Illumination movie that just recently came out, and the anime Animal Crossing movie. All 3 of these I love for different reasons. So I just put them all at 3 because I think they're all really good. Number 2 is The Last of Us show. It is just probably the best show, like, honestly, that I have ever seen. It is so well crafted in every possible way. There's like almost no flaws with it. And last but certainly not least, to answer this very long question, drum roll please, what is the best video game adaptation in Dan's eyes? It is the 1990s live action Super Mario Brothers movie. I know it is the worst thing that God has ever put on this earth, and that's why I love it. It is just a whirlwind of bad, and that's why I love it. I love how bad it is. Next, the slime artist asking a question, who started the body pillow thing anyway? For those who don't know, there was a while where we had a merch request chat, and you could request certain merchandise that we would make. People wanted body pillows of Anderson and Captain Reynolds. It blew up so much out of proportion that that became the only thing people were requesting. We can't make this body pillow, like we just can't. I can tell you that pillows are now available to be made in my merch shop. I haven't made any of them yet, but I can make a pillow if you want, just not a body pillow. It's just, so anyway, who started it? I think it was a combination of this guy named Frosty and Icy. I don't know where he's at right now. He might have changed his name. And then I think Cannonbolt066 escalated a little bit more. And then I escalated a little bit more, and someone else, and it got blown out of proportion. So it started with, I think, Frosty and Icy, or maybe Cannonbolt, one of the two, and then the other one like propelled it forward, and then it just kind of built from there. Next, he asks, have you ever considered making sort of behind-the-scenes videos on how the Perfect Soldier's universal promotion and material, those posters and heck, even the thumbnails of the episodes are made? I honestly love them. They're so good, especially Extraction's poster. That is a really good question. I've never actually done like behind the scenes. I've done like tips on how to like create like cool like landscapey like vertical photos via like theater and Photoshop, but I've never done like a behind the scenes of those. I really should consider it, especially like the Lone Wolves Extraction poster. Like that one was super complicated to make. Yeah, some people are surprised when I say I did that all in Photoshop. Some people think I did Illustrator or InDesign. No, it's all Photoshop, all of it. So yeah, I gotta just really dive deep into that one day. But that's a good question. I should definitely do that. Tap08's back, the big one. Now that Rooster Teeth is gone, what do you think is next? Also, I definitely don't have a pirated link to RVB Restoration. Oh, that's funny, because yeah, this comment was like May 19th and Restoration just came out at that time. Anyway, so yeah, now that Rooster Teeth is gone, what do you think is next? I don't know, man. Machinima has, it's very possible that, you know, with the next Halo title, Machinima could come back. I don't know, it's hard to really say because there hasn't really been anything like Red vs. Blue. There have been other titles that have like gained traction and gotten big. A lot of those got big for different reasons, and then like machinima.com helped propel those. It's hard to really tell. It's hard to really gauge what's next. I don't know what's next for them. And as for having an RVB Restoration copy, nice. KiernanHere's asking some Yu-Gi-Oh questions. I'm gonna break this into different parts. Least favorite monster, Yugi, Pharaoh, Gramps used. Beaver Warrior. I don't understand why that card was in their deck. But when I see any duel that any of these characters play, and then they play Beaver Warrior, smack dab in attack mode on the field, why? Which of the big three TCGS do you think has the most complex learning curve? Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or Magic? Definitely Magic. Magic is not a game that you just pick up. The basic idea of Yu-Gi-Oh is probably the dumbest down easy version of all three of these to play. But Pokemon, there's a little bit more like, okay, these types can't inflict that type, you know, oh, you can't do that with that one. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more of like a hesitation, like, oh, can I play this or can I play that? Or like if you're teaching someone who's never played these games before, I'm thinking about my dad. If my dad has never played any of these games, will he master these in a day? And I think Yu-Gi-Oh, he can. Least and most favorite monster type in Yu-Gi-Oh, Warrior, Machine, Dragon, Fiend, Fish. I think my least favorite is probably Fiend. But I personally love like dragons and machine monsters. I feel like there's so much more you could do with them. Dragon type monsters that help other dragon type monsters, and machine type monsters that help other machine type monsters, and etc. I guess you can make the argument for zombies too, because there's a lot of zombie cards that help other zombie cards. But I don't get that feeling with Fiend. And I mean, fish also, I mean, like who has like a fish deck? Like I understand if you have like fish, sea serpent, like water types. I feel like Fiend tries to be like the dragon and machine types, but can't make it quite there yet. And whenever I think Fiends are great, they always backfire on me. That's at least my perspective. Next, Aquifer asks, will you be my Valentine? Aw. And he asked this in May. I don't know if he asked this too late or too early. Listen, Boo, you will always be my Valentine. Always. Costume change again. Had to get into the Christmas spirit this time. I was considering wearing this Boston Bruins Christmas cap. They're not playing too hot right now. And Aquifer's asking another question. Also, when is the Christmas special of Catman gonna happen? I love this, because Catman is like such a forgotten series of shorts that I made for the channel. I don't know, man, unfortunately not this year. Catman kind of got forgotten by the community. But like, I'm glad that there is someone who actually wants more Catman. I don't know, with the Penguin that just recently came out and things like that, Batman is kind of on an uphill, you know, streak right now. So he's climbing up there, so I might as well, you know, just dive into that. XtraNinja's here with the next question. Will you ever do some sort of Halo Machinima bingo card? I mean, a lot of these are just generic, like story tropes in general. There are some on here that are really funny, like favorite character dies, fourth wall break, not canon to Halo, self-inserted director, over-the-top Michael Bay explosions, the main female character who has to have a love interest, or the main character who has to be in love with the only female character. And like they push that plot like so much. I love you, babe, and we're gonna get through this tough time together, babe. Oh, Steven, I love you so much, and I would love nothing more than a big, strong, handsome Spartan man to protect me. Anytime, babe. I'm gonna do anything I can for you, babe. And it's like, that's the kind of trope that I'm sick of seeing. Next question is from Aquifer asking, how are you? I'm good, man. I'm doing a lot better now than I was on June 30th. Funny enough, actually, I wrote a sticky note on June 24th. My last job was at a TV station, and for context, I just left that job this past November, found something infinitely better with the tools that I'm given, especially at a TV station that's still like living in the 1980s. I couldn't deliver sometimes, and when people get mad at me that like I couldn't deliver, it's like, because you gave me insufficient technology, like, what am I supposed to do? Anyway, that's the past. But June 30th, you asked me how I was doing. And on June 24th, I made a sticky note. It was, I'm not gonna read it fully, but it was a very bad day. Basically, I think I was hated for whatever reason by everyone. Okay, for context, it was just like with video projects. Like, I didn't do anything scandalous or anything like that. Like, I think people were just frustrated and stressed, and they took it all out on me. And I basically wrote a sticky note, basically saying that like, I'm useless, I'm not creative, I'm a waste of space, I'm a burden. And that was a very, very rough day for me. And this was also in the middle of when I was doing my Bionicle 2 everyday challenge. And that whole month, I kind of like declined mentally. And I don't think it was because of the challenge, but that whole month I was just, June was a bad month in general. But on June 30th, I was doing a lot better. So like a week later, thank you for asking. I was doing a lot better. But now, 6 months later, finally answering a question, I'm doing infinitely better. I'm happier. I feel like I have a glow now. I have more peace of mind with my work life now. And I haven't had that for nearly 3 years. For the past 3 years, I have stressed so much. You know, it's one of those things where I don't regret it, but I wish it was better. I wish it was better. But with that being said, I'm doing better now. So thank you for asking. Aquifer asks next, who are you going to dress up as for Halloween? I think last Halloween, I was a Boston Bruins hockey player. The year before that, I was Waldo, or maybe I'm getting those two mixed up. I don't remember which year is which. The year before that, I was a Jedi. I have like full cosplay Jedi Obi-Wan robes, so I was a Jedi. Before that, I think, I wanna say I was Wally. because my wife made a full like shirt, like hat, helmet, everything like Wally. But like, I think I wore that for a video. I can't remember. For this Halloween, we didn't even do anything, unfortunately. I had to work on Halloween, and I think it was like a Wednesday this year, something like that. It was in the middle of the week, and but yeah, it wasn't really an eventful Halloween this year, and I didn't get a costume. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I'm sorry. Next Aquifer asks again, October 28th. How is it going? That was during the last few days of me working at my previous job. You know, it was my last week at that job, so like I was helping the new person. October 28th was a good day. It was a good day. And lastly, Aquifer asks a month later on November 28th, what's your favorite part of Thanksgiving? And I think you all know the answer, the food. I love food. It can be a little stressful because there's so many people involved, but it's great because everyone brings their own dishes. They all bring their own special recipes, and it's just fun to like reconnect with everyone and like try all these different foods. So it's a lot of fun. Well, that is going to wrap up this year's questions for Ask Lazy Bunch question and answer video. As I said multiple times, I have left my previous job and I'm now working at a much better job. And so 2025 is shaping up to be a really exciting and good year for us. And so I'm hoping that in the coming weeks and months, Perfect Soldiers 3, the scripts and everything, the story will be hashed out. Maybe I could finally work on genre generator, just get that out of the way. Just a fun 10-15 minute video. But I actually do have an idea for an Arrested Development type comedy machinima. And I have all these character plot lines and all these different character motivations and things planned out. So I'm like, okay, this one actually has some leg to it. And so I may just end up doing it anyway. Aside from that, like I said, financially, now that we're doing things a little bit better now, I want to upgrade some more equipment. I want to pay voice actors. I want to pay the cast and crew. A lot of channel growth for Lazy Bunch. A lot of good things will be happening. A lot of more projects will be being made. Lazy Bunch story's been going strong for the past, I think, what, 6 months or so? That's the story. That's the scoop. And I'm sticking with it. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. If you made it to the end right now, make sure you comment down below. Snowcaps. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next year. You know, you knew I had to say that. Yeah, I mean, I had to.